Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Starfish class, the Ruby on Rails class final project presentations. We have our final class students on the call with us to be able to present the work that they've done. And we're very excited to see your final work. We're really, really proud of all the hard work that you put into it. I know it's not easy to juggle life and work and class. So y'all are real rock stars for being able to get through and to get your final projects where they're at for presentation night tonight. So I just want to start out saying that congratulations and woohoo, and we're very, very proud of you. So the other housekeeping things that I wanted to cover is about the alumni group. Since you've likely already completed a course with us before, then you might already be a part of the alumni group. If not, then you'll be getting an email from Lori probably this coming week once she's back from vacation about joining alumni group. We usually have social networking as well as sort of employment networking events with the alumni group. And then, of course, for the skillets that we have with apprentices on Fridays around lunchtime, some of those presentations are helpful and applicable for the alumni group as well. So you might get information about, hey, join us Friday at noon or around noon-ish Eastern for any presentations that might be applicable for folks that have completed our classes and are not in the apprenticeship program or are in the apprenticeship program. So that way you can get a little additional information or some insights from individuals and organizations that present on those. You have probably already done your student survey, but in case you haven't, I'll put that up in the chat. We like to get feedback from students on how the class went. So that way, if there's any suggestions as far as like pace, slowing it down, picking it up in certain areas, if there were topics that it was like, I had to find this additional information about this topic on my own, then we'd like to know that. So that way we can incorporate better resources for that lesson for that week, that kind of a thing, as well as just what your overall experience was like. So that way, if we need to make any revisions to how we process things, then we can go ahead and get those revisions done and improve the program for future students. So the link's in the chat in case you haven't done it, go ahead and fill that out. No need to do a practicum form. Oh, actually, no, you will need to do a practicum form. Let me get the link up for that one as well. And the practicum form is so that way you can let me know which of the projects that are being submitted to consider for the practicum project that you'll all be working on will be the one that you work on for the practicum portion. And actually I have to update it now that I know who's presented their final project as consider this for practicum. So I'll actually send that link to you in the class announcements channel later tonight. So just keep an eye on that. And when that comes through, fill out that practicum form. That way I know you're interested in being a part of the practicum, as well as which project that you see tonight you would be interested in working on. Questions about anything so far? No, good. Okay. And then, reminder about LinkedIn profile info. So we've got a Code the Dream School LinkedIn account now that you can link to show that you're a graduate from one of our programs. So I think Reed put information up in your class announcements channel a couple weeks ago on it. If not, then I'll prompt him to go ahead and put that in your class announcements channel. So if you're boosting your LinkedIn profile as you're looking for employment or anything like that, then you can update it and say, I've completed this program with Code the Dream. And then the last thing we like to remind, usually we touch on it a little bit at the start of class or when you first come to us, whether it's an intro or advanced when you join us, is just our giving back. So now that you're done with the advanced class and you'll be starting to look for employment and move on to that direction, if you have expendable income beyond what you need and you'd like to kick a little bit back to help students that are following in your footsteps, you're definitely welcome to do that. You can do that by going to codethedream.org and then follow the navigation for donations. Or if you'd like to come back and mentor students for other classes that are following in your footsteps, then you're definitely welcome to do that as well. We have an intro class starting next week. So if you're like, hey, I want to go ahead and jump in and help out, then just let me know. Or if you'd like to get through practicum first, which is completely reasonable, and then go from there, that's fine too. But there are options for giving back if you choose to do that. And if not, then just make the best of everything that you've learned. And we hope that you have a bright and shining future ahead of you. All right, enough of my chatter. I think I've got everything covered as far as housekeeping things. If you have any questions or need anything, then just send me an email or reach me on Slack. And otherwise, since Candace is going to be starting us off, then whenever you are ready to go, Candace, you can go ahead and take it away.
All right. Okay, so the point of my app that I was trying to build, it was essentially like a social media website for entrepreneurs. Because a lot of times it's like with entrepreneurs, they don't get their business off the ground just because they don't have all the knowledge that is needed. So it was kind of like the idea is like different entrepreneurs and their expertise, they get to join, sign up and join. From there, they'll be able to create like groups based off of their interests and what their expertise is. And then after that, um, in different areas. And then after that, you'll be able to create like a meetup, a reservation, however you want to consider it, meetup so that they can meet up together, talk, decide on whether it's something that they want to do, like either a joint venture or something on, or if there's just information they would like to share um, with each other. That way, this could be a possible thing. So this is kind of what my thought process was. I didn't get it to look exactly how I wanted it, but it works. So I took that as a win. So the idea is more like you would have a better profile page. Um, uh, and the more it got built, like to be able to add your picture, things like that, so people would get to know a little about you, whatever you would decide to put on there as your bio. But this would be like your welcome page. You can go and create groups, um, and however you would like, whatever title you would want about whatever, and then you could pick what area that you are in. That way people would know like, hey, this person is in this area and this is what they're talking about and this is their expertise. And then people can join groups from there. So once you create the group, then it would be that. And then also from there, that is where you would decide whether you would want to meet up with people. The one thing that I definitely would like to build into there, depending on is like if somebody does create a meetup, but then you have to cancel it, like where it would like um, notify everybody that was in the meetup and not just you canceling it just by yourself. So there was different things that I know that I would want to work into there that I definitely missed and didn't have time for. But just getting this to work to me was a really big deal for me, between my vagrant issues and everything like that. So that's about it.
Awesome. That looks really great. There was a question that I had about, I think it was on the user page, maybe. Yeah, I think it was on the welcome page. No, it must have been groups. I'm sorry, Candace. I'm making you just jump all over the place.
You're fine.
It was going to be, and I think it was when you were creating a new group. Oh yeah, for location. So do you have the locations defaulted, or like as far as they can only select those four, or those are just the four and it's remembering what you had used in your browser as far as the four you've entered
It's
recently?
remembering what I use in
Okay.
my browser because this the Chrome browser I have it set to like remember my
Yeah, remember
passwords.
your inputs. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. I wasn't
But
sure
this
because
is
at
just
first I
what.
was like, was that a drop down selection? Did you want to have it just for specific areas or yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. It was just like because when you create the groups, like I had pictures, like images that I had already saved for like certain bigger areas such as
Yeah.
Atlanta and Orlando, because I wanted to put them in like different cards.
Yeah.
Um, those are the different ideas that I had
Hmm.
that obviously I just didn't have time for, and I was
Yeah.
thinking too big for what I had time for.
That's perfectly fine. And then when you select user on this page, so do you have like multiple users with one organization, or it just selects like if you yourself have multiple users within your account, or how does that wind up working for the drop down for user?
The way it's working now is just if you want to, you yourself in your account want to join the.
Okay, awesome. All right, very cool. What was your favorite part of the project, and what was your biggest struggle besides the vagrant? That can be your biggest struggle answer if you'd like.
Vagrant definitely was my biggest struggle just throughout the whole entire class. Coming up with errors, even just putting this together, putting Bootstrap in my Vagrant, it had to go a totally different route. The one thing that I couldn't figure out at all within the last 2 days was how to do a navigation bar.
Yeah.
Working for me. So that was pretty annoying for the fact that I was like, I really wanted it on this page. That way you can just like click, hey, here's my profile, here's the groups I'm in, here's the meetups I'm currently in. So I did want to do that, and that wasn't working. So that the part that I'm most proud about is the fact that it does work, and I actually got the my log out button to work. The only problem with that is my log in button doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm proud that I got the log out button to work like I wanted it to, because at first it was sending us 8 different directions. But those are just like certain things that I was just like, I need a little more time between other problems and errors. But I do feel like because I had so many problems with Vagrant and different things, that I have a pretty good understanding of how to solve a lot of errors that happen.
That's awesome. Yeah. And that's the best mindset to have too, is like, I might have hit a wall, but now I'm a pro at fixing it.
Yes. And that's where I think I'm at right now. It's just like, hey, I've seen this before, or at least I know how to kind of Google it and find it, and I should be good to go.
Awesome. That's great. Well, congratulations. I think it's a job well done. Did anybody have any questions or comments they'd like to share with Candace before we move on?
Yes, this is Chung. What was my question? So what was that you used? Did you use the built-in device for authentication, or did you write your custom authentication system?
No, I did not use Devise. I originally did, and I was even telling Mary Alice that I had to start over in certain points like 3 different times. So I originally did use Devise with my user, and when I got to the end, the authentication wasn't working, and then a mentor advised me that I probably should go a different route, because he was like, there's a certain part of Devise that I guess we didn't go over fully in the course, and he was like, it might take me a whole nother week to get that put in for it to work exactly how he knew I wanted it to work. So we did not go to the Devise route, but if it gets used in the practicum, obviously I hope we go the Devise route.
Yep.
So everybody can't see everybody's information. So
Okay.
Sounds great.
I did too, and then the device I got, it was device was too complex for a little, like for the scope of our kind of registration and authentication system, right? So I did my custom one. So.
yeah, he was just like, it'd take another week. He was like, you'd be able to figure it out, but it would take too long.
Okay.
All right. Anybody want to go next, or does anybody have any other questions or comments for Candace?
No, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. Great job, because I know that Candace, she was also working on Windows, and I have like the same typical errors, and I was just restarting my computer all over again. And yeah, I understand, and great job, Candace.
Thank you. Yes, she was very helpful. She was like, restart your computer and then come back, and it should work for you.
Sometimes you just got to turn it off and turn it on again, right? Fun times. All right.
I wanted to say something to Candace as well. I feel you on it's a lot of work. And I agree with you that, like you go through like a problem so many times that you like learn from it. Yeah, I like your project, and it's a lot of work.
Thank you.
Awesome. Good job. All right. Who'd like to go second? Any takers?
I can go to my kids in the other room and let me do it.
That works.
So I wanted to show you what I've been working for. Okay, I just did this. First of all, I wanted to thank CTG for this opportunity to learn a new language. And of course, I wanted to thank our great mentors, especially Diana and Dylan. They were always like there for us, and I loved how they helped us resolve all these technical issues, and also they shared their real life experience and how the process goes, how to go through the interviews, and like beyond. Just thank you. So my app is a blog app. When I was deciding what kind of app I want to build, I thought that like back in during the pandemic times, I remember that the apps, the blog apps became very popular, and people wanted to do something creative staying at their homes. And many people use the blog platforms to share their skills, their knowledge, and some people just use it to reflect their thoughts and feelings. So I thought that maybe I can do something similar to this. So as you can see, here is my app here. This is how it looks on the bigger screen, on the smaller, and in the smallest screen. So now I'll just go and jump into my. So here, as you can see, I'm already signed in, as I just tested it before we start the call. And being here, I can, how do I move it? Let's maybe here. Sorry. So I'm already logged in, and I can see posts of other people like this. And I also go and comment. As you can see, the post reflects the name of the author when it was posted, some image. I would like to make more images, but so far this is my progress. And I can go and leave some comments here. Let me see, for example, yeah, it's here, and it also counts how many comments I have. And the thing is that I cannot delete others people's comments. For example, if I go here, won't be any option to delete this comment because I'm not the author of this comment. Then I can also log out and sign up again. For example, let's say pumpkin. The email is this. Sign up, and I'm signed in. Yeah, so the app is also responsive. If I go and just make it narrower, it like breaks up into posts, and then it goes narrower, and I go and push the toggle button. The menu appears here. So yeah, this is my app.
Awesome,
Thanks
that
for
looks
watching.
great, April. Did you
Thank you.
use bootstrapping, or how did you do like the design part of your user interface?
Yeah, so some parts will bootstrap, and this is something new, and I just love it, but also it needs lots of practice because I struggled with these forms and these cards. They just didn't want to stay in the place as I wanted to be. But yeah, in partial, there was just regular CSS that helped me a lot. Yeah.
Awesome, that's great. You had mentioned that you can't delete other people's posts. If you're logged in as CTD2, would you be able to delete the comment that you had put on that one post? Or that's still in the works?
So I can delete only posts that I've created.
Okay.
The posts and the comments. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Anybody have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I always loved. I worked at Cell during the last practicum. I really loved her artistic skills. You know, she could present things in a real nice way, pictorially. You know, like visually. I really loved it, as you know, and she demonstrated it again with the app here. Even though, I mean, you know, given our short period of training in Ruby on Rails, as well as, you know, using the templates and all that, were unfamiliar. She did a great job. You know, I really wish I could have that kind of vision. You know, can have that kind of talents.
Yes, yeah,
Oh.
you definitely have a gift for design skills for sure.
Thank you, Chang. I appreciate.
Yes,
appreciate
that's what I
this.
was going to
Thanks.
say. The video presentation portion where you just even started, like, this is what this is going to look like, was top notch.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
It's always nice to have mock-ups of like, this is what it looks like on the different devices all side by side. That's always a nice feature to have, especially if you're presenting anything to a client, like presenting a prototype to a client, then that's always very helpful. Awesome. Any other questions or comments or anything?
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask Asel. She her nav bar, right on top, the black nav bar. I could see that she didn't put the maximum width to it. Was that a choice, or was that because that she like, you know, like she didn't want the nav bar to look that way, right? Was that a choice or not?
Yeah, I did that on purpose. I've tried like to make it narrower, but I didn't like the way it looks. And this nav bar, it's also sticky. It just doesn't go anywhere. I don't know. I just loved. I experimented a little bit with the width and height, but yeah, this is the way I liked it.
Awesome, that's great.
Asel, did you do your navbar with Bootstrap or CSS?
This is Bootstrap.
Oh,
I've
okay.
struggled a lot again
It was so
because yeah, Ruby and the Bootstrap, it like both things are like super new to me, and like combine them, that took lots of time. But yeah.
I feel you on the bootstrapping. When I was doing my web design degree with Wake Tech, then I had a class where we had to do like all bootstrapping. I was like, oh my God, just let me write it all myself with CSS. I can't handle this. So I feel you there.
I loved it this time. It gave me a opportunity to go back and revisit Bootstrap, which I learned like 3-4 years ago with a very tiny little amount of time, and I didn't fully grasp it because of my lack of the base knowledge with CSS. This time around, I felt great improvements in using Bootstrap. Like my app, I'll show you later.
That's good. Awesome. Did you want to go next then, Chung, or Sam? Did you want to go next? Whichever.
Whichever. If you want to go first, or I can go first. It don't matter.
No, I can be the last because
Okay.
you know, I'm unscripted. I didn't even prepare. I haven't even slept for like the past day.
Oh God.
So,
Okay.
please go ahead. Yeah.
All right, that works. Any other questions or comments for us, before we move on? Good. All right. Job well done. Okay, whenever you're ready, Sam, you can go ahead and take it away.
Okay. Let's see. Let me show this real quick. Oh, let me. I really like the presentation. A sales presentation. It's a nice way to introduce your app. I was like, it's a great idea. I work at a school, and I have a kid. And I've noticed I work at the front office for a while, and we're super busy there, and we're really busy on the office getting calls from parents asking, for their kids to be released early, or for the kid to go to a after school program, or change the bus. So many requests, and the phones are always busy. So I thought when I work at the office, I was like, I wish I could make an app. So now I try to create an app that handles communication between parents and the staff. And it's really hard. So the main purpose of the app is to communicate with parents, parents with staff, and parents can sign in, and ideally admin can sign in. Right now I don't have it divided yet. Admin and parents are like the same. So I gonna put my email or fake email. Oh, okay. And now, I cannot create any students, and that's for security measures. The only people that can add students is the admin. So the school are the only ones that can add kids, because you never know if someone wants to add another kid and make changes. That could be really scary. So I have 2 kids right now, and let's say that so I have a basic information. They're going first grade. Their teachers, and the user, it's actually me. These kids belong to me. I can see the notes that I've submitted for them. For example, I submitted a note for the nurse and a change of transportation. Ideally, this will show the notes per day. Right now, it just shows everything. And we go back, and you can see, if you also on all notes, you can see all the notes combined for your kids. Ideally, I would like to just show the ones for each kid, which I showed before, but this is a way to see all the notes that you've submitted in a day. Okay, this was supposed to be my footer. I had a hard time with my footer. It is not a footer. These are not links, but they're just mocking like links. My nav bar was so challenging, and anytime I want to click somewhere, I get this black background. I wasn't able to figure out how to remove that, so I changed the letter, so the color of the letter, so you can see it. The site is responsive, so it will shrink, and it will move around. Let's see. I'm really proud of this part right here. It welcomes the user, and it gives you the date, today's date. And let's see, if I want to make a new note, I wanted to do a drop-down menu here with just specific categories of notes, but I didn't have enough time. So if I want to do a note for the principal, hi, the student, I'm gonna choose one. I'm sorry, Diego, create the note. And the note is created. Another thing that so if you sign out, before, when I sign out and I sign in with a different email, I was able to see the kids of the other person. And I was able to figure out how to prevent from a certain user to see other kids. So right now, this user, he doesn't have any kids, and he cannot add any kids. Admin is the only one that can add kids. What else? What else? I think there's one more thing that I want to show. It took so long and it looks like so little. Oh, if you want to register, oops. Oh, I think I did. I wanted to, you can register and you can say, you can sign up. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. That's great, Sam. And I bet it would be really great to implement so that way your phone's not ringing off the hook at work too.
Yes.
I think it's good logic. Does anybody have any questions or comments about setup or anything they'd like to share?
Yeah, this is Sean. I have a question, right? Did you use Bootstrap for styling
I did both. I did Bootstrap
and
and
custom?
custom.
Now, yeah, the questions, the problem you have with the navbar, is it coming from Bootstrap not overriding the default, or you're doing the custom navbar? I mean, I heard you had problem with the navbar using Bootstrap to do navbar as well as Cadence, right?
Yeah, I was trying to do the nav bar through Bootstrap, and it just wouldn't do what I wanted to do. And I was gonna try and just like do it through CSS as well, and I was just like, okay, we'll just scrap it from there. But then I was like, I'm running out of time, and to get the links and do everything and make sure all the classes work. So I was like, I have to scrap the nav bar, otherwise it'll just look like this blank bar at the top of the page. So I understand totally, and even your footer trying to get it to stay at the bottom, I had a huge problem with that at first.
Oh.
Kudos to you for even getting anything on it, because mine literally has the date or the year, and that was it. Because I was just like, it's at least at the bottom of the page, so I'm just gonna roll with it. So, great job.
Thank you.
So Sam, you with the same problem with Bootstrap doing the navbar?
Yes, the navbar. So I use Bootstrap for the navbar, and I just wanted a little visual stuff so I could keep building. And then I realized that I was running out of time and I had to edit like the different views. So towards the end, I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna do more custom. It looks a little bit weird, but it's functional. It looks like it's floating, but it's only Bootstrap. Other stuff, it's a combination of both Bootstrap and CSS.
Yeah, I was just wondering well, Rails always propagates that convention over configuration and all that, right? But then all these black background highlight when you hover over, I don't even think that's convention anymore. Why would they even keep it there, right? So I see you had the problem of trying to get rid of that, right? Get rid of the link when the black background highlights, right? But then I didn't have any problem just using Bootstrap, and it just went away. So that's what I was wondering. Anyway, yeah, I was wondering maybe I knew a little more of Bootstrap, so I'll be able to use it in a way. It's just a whole bunch of classes. As long as you understand the purpose of each class and then use it in the correct place, it'll just override whatever default that you have in your app, right? Or you even if you put behind your custom styling, then it's going to override your own styling as well, right?
Right. Yeah, and I was trying to find like the Hoover part. I just couldn't find it, and I would have spent more time, but I was like, I have to finish this other parts. I just wanted to work better than it looked.
Function and priorities. That's the way to go.
Yeah, I think the class for that is navbar icon. If as long as you assign that class to it, it'll just override. It'll just become Bootstrap without a highlight, right? But I'm not so sure. I know, but somewhere like that, just navbar icon, something like that, right? Class. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. No, because I was like looking for it. I was like, it's just gonna look like this.
And
Yes,
it's still accessible. So even with the black and the white lettering, like, hey, it's easy to see. So that works. Gets the job done.
yeah, but I wanted to share that I use Device
Yeah.
for my authentication, which it doesn't do a lot, but it does the basic.
Yeah. Awesome. Well done, Sam. Any other questions or comments anybody want to share?
Just great job. I mean, this app is really functional and something that could be used. And yeah, and it's just awesome. Great.
Thank you.
All right. So that brings us to Chung. You're our last presenter tonight. Don't forget to unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see if I can do a good job without preparation. Let me see. Where's my desktop? Yeah, okay. So, you should see welcome to Bridge, right? That's my desktop. Okay, so I want to give you just a short history of where my project come from, right? So I'm simultaneously in 3 different boot camps, and one of which is with Columbia University's Justice Through Code program that I started before this Ruby on Rails program in January this year. So and in which the participants who were mostly incarcerated before would spend 6 months learning Python and then learning the Django framework for backend, and then come up with some minimal style of the app, right? A whole app. So that's where my project come from. So we had a team, even though my teammates were like all new to code, never had coding experiences. So I kind of like took the lead job as well over there, and we had this conception of a bridge web app, right? So what Bridge does is that we realize that there's a niche of market for not I'm not talking about the profit sense, right? So of a market for like formerly incarcerated people, people currently incarcerated, as well as their families and friends, as well as people who are concerned with the criminal justice system, to find empirical and experiential info, like info from people who've been there, like really can offer their testimony to the circumstances, right? So this is a questions and answers app. So and then that would offer a platform for people who are concerned to ask questions, basically in 3 different categories that we just arbitrarily assign. Basically, it corresponds with the pre-commitment or pre-prison, in custody, and post-release, right? These 3 big areas of concern were what we arbitrarily assigned to it. And then people can just click a category and ask a question, and then people can go in there and click any questions and answer those questions. And then people, of course, the authors can update or delete their answers, but not the questions, right? Because the questions, once the question is gone, the answer will have to be gone, but the answers authors or others, then the authors wouldn't allow the question to be deleted and can only be updated. So this is the wireframe for that project, right? So and then this is the project. Let me see. This is what it is on the server. This is Django. This is Python, right? Now, and my idea with this bootcamp is that initially I was trying to I was struggling for ideas in putting a final project, putting ideas for the final project, and then trying to come up with a blog app like a sales, or trying to slap my last practicum project on a Ruby on Rails backend, right? So I was thinking about all of that, but then I decided that since my memory, my skills and like the implementation details are most fresh with this bridge project, I decided to cut the Python and Django whole framework out of that bridge project and then slap it on Ruby on Rails. So this is Django. This is Ruby on Rails. You couldn't tell the difference. Maybe only because this what this called them, I don't know what it's called, but it's like unique in Ruby on Rails. I don't know how to get rid of it. I really hate to see it there, right? So and then it just both of them I was able to successfully implement, just overhaul everything inside and then give it a new engine, right? So the original app as well as this app has user authentication permission. So authentication part is that it requires the user to register for account and then from then on log in with the account, right? The same with the bridge app here on Ruby on Rails, right? So I implemented the same logic for with different, of course, different code for the login functionalities. And then again, you can see both of them are extremely similar. And I still do design for the login and register link from the last project. So so this is basically what it is. There's a certain glitch about like Bootstrap. See this highlight of my nav bar. Maybe my implementation of the JavaScript wasn't wasn't perfect. So sometimes it just has hiccups. It just wouldn't show, or sometimes it just has problems with it. So so let me maybe just walk you through with the sign up process. Okay. So sign up for a user. Uh-oh. So what is it? Empty user. Oh, what? Maybe it's because. Wow. Let me see. Okay. Instead of wasting our time, I'm pretty sure I just tested it before. Maybe I typed one of the password wrong, right? So let me just use a existing user. Okay, bad boy, don't behave. Well, maybe it's easier if I don't type that much. Okay, so once logged in, the user pick any one of the categories, right? So it goes to the category thread. That will give this is suppose I didn't create a whole bunch of questions, right? So this is one of the questions, and then I believe at least I have one category. So you can see the captions, right? The category titles are changing when I click. Okay. What's this guy? Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I gotta apologize for I'm at home and I don't have Wi-Fi at home, so I'm using my mobile hotspot, and that limits my speed to 5 meg for second, and it's going really really slow. You can see this blue bar, and that's why I initially thought that some problem happened, but it's not. It's because it's just slow. So. Okay, so you can see the captions, you can see the categories, right? Now, and then if you want to create a new question or update a existing question, and there we go again, the blue bars. So while the bars are going on, I have the permission built in for this as well. So a user cannot update someone else's question or the answers, right? So okay, now new question, I say I want to ask just pretend, right? And then I want to ask a question, post release, pick a category. All these has a built-in what's that called? Alert to it, right? So like validation to it. So if I want to submit right now, it'll prompt me to enter a category. If I don't have any tags, it'll prompt me prompt me to do that as well. Now, once that is in the place, all these are native Bootstrap classes, right? Okay, and then it gives me a blue notice that, hey, you have successfully created a question, which will come here. Oh, I should have. Okay, now I know the implementation details. I should have put it in a reverse chronological order, right? So that's what I'm gonna do when I have time next. And then if I wanted to update a question, you know, right here it says click to update question, right? So, oh, shoot. Well, let's just say, I want, no, let me find one that is, see the nav bar I have? These are bootstrap. And then I didn't have any problem. As long as you know the exact working of each class, you should not have any problem. It should come like just second nature, like should come as easy as what Bootstrap put out to be, you know. So let me try to update someone else's. Let me see. Check. Oh, here. Okay, so if I want to update this answer, which I created with another username, hey, what the? Oh, no. Okay, so to give you a background, right? So I haven't fully implemented on the Ruby on Rails. So I only advanced so far to the question part, and I haven't even got to finish the answers page, right? So you can see that here it says click to view answers. That is part I haven't finished, right? So I should click here, new or update questions, right? New or update questions, and then I come to the new page, and then it's here, this one, and it says here, click to update question, right? So when I click, you'll give me the modal. Oh no, I need to go again to update question, give me the modal, and pre-populate it with the original update, and I say, I want to update, right? And let's see what happens. It says, you're not permitted to edit others' questions. So this demonstrates my permission works. You know, no one can edit anybody else's answer, right? So this is like, by far, I was able to do with my Ruby on Rails project. But then it actually, when we come to my Django project, that you know, like this, I'll show you. This is what the original version of the app, right? So how we implemented it, we implemented fully with, and I found out by transitioning, I found out that, hey, Django give me more freedom. I don't like this convention over configuration stuff, you know. I rather have configuration, so I have full control of my app, right? And then Python gave me the ability to have more control, and it seems to me, right, to me personally, more friendly as a backend than Ruby on Rails. So I am logged in, and this is the home page, and I say, hey, you know, I want to go to a discussion of the in custody, right? In custody, you can see that the headings changed too. It was welcome to Bridge, now it's Bridge knowledge, right? So, and then when I go, if I go here, I can ask a question, right? Now I want to go to the answer page, right? So I am logging in as this guy, and I want to demonstrate. This is another user's. So here are the answers page. This is what I was supposed to do with Ruby on Rails here, right? So it's like this, and then you can click to edit. You can click to edit an answer, right? It pops immediately. I don't have to go to a page to have this pop. I just have, you know, I just wrote some JavaScript, and then just on page load to click that original model activation button, and then it will just pop the model. But I couldn't figure out with the short amount of time and then busy schedule, I couldn't figure out how to implement that on Ruby on Rails. That's why early on you see that I had to go to the new page to click, and then to have the model pop to write a new question, or to go to the update page. You know, not the update. It's called the new edit. Yeah, edit page, and then to pop the model at the edit page, right? But in Python, I could only, you know, I only have to do one step. And so yeah, this is the hiccups again, right? So this is the hiccups again.
That's interesting to see the difference between the two of them when it's Django versus Ruby on Rails. And yeah, I am curious because I feel like there would have to be some kind of something that would avoid that step in between, that where you had to do the trigger of taking it to the page and then edit it. So I suspect there's probably something in there, but I'm definitely not knowledgeable enough of Ruby on Rails to give any insights.
Yeah, that's why I said I hate this convention over configuration. I want to configure it so I can do that, you know, like what I did with Django, right? You know, see how convenient it is? I click here, and the model pops one step. I don't have to go to a new page to click again to have the model pop.
Yeah.
You know, and the same thing, of course, same thing with the, you know, with the answers part, right? So when I go to the answer, I say I want to write a response. I don't have to, you know, like one click, the model pops.
Yep, and it takes you right to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is pretty much my presentation on my app. And then let me see if I have forgotten. Oh, okay. So on the backend, I have implemented some tests that you could see. I have implemented all, you know, like all the ordinary validations for all the models, right? And I have implemented some tests with RSpec on the models, but I haven't done that with routing with the controllers. And I wish I can finish that by today. You know, the testing of controllers. Then I'll be, you know, I'll met the Rubik's fully. You know.
Awesome. Well done, Chung.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your
Okay.
project with us.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions or comments they'd like to share?
I really like how whenever you're gonna make a comment, I believe, your screen pops up. Like I don't know, it's like a cool feature.
Yeah, it's called a modal. Modal. Yeah, go to Bootstrap and then see MODAL,
Okay.
and then just copy and paste your code in there, and then it gives you that that out of the box. You know, that's the merits of Bootstrap. You know, that's why people love Bootstrap. Even though I personally myself didn't like it, because I want to learn CSS. I want to understand CSS from, you know, from a beginner's point of view, right? And once I'm more advanced with CSS, then I found out that Bootstrap really shortcuts things for you. You know, like greatly, like cuts down your production, the develop time maybe tenfold. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Not tenfold, was what's that called? 10%. Yeah, it's called models. Models. It pops models. Yeah.
Well, it looks really cool.
Awesome. And just in general, taking a site and rebuilding it in a different language is such good practice to be able to understand the differences between how it's structured in one language versus how it's structured in the other, as well as kind of seeing if there's a better way to do it with a different language than with another. And it takes away the aspect of having to focus too much about like, how do I want to structure it? How do I want to design it? Because you already have it built in one way. And so it's just a matter of translating it. So that's always good practice. I know when I was doing the React class with Code the Dream, we had that as one of our projects, is we had to do a copycat. Like you find a website that you're like, this looks really cool. And you basically have to try and restructure it both in styling as well as functionality to be able to get it to mimic what the original site looked like as close as possible. So that's good. All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm always amazed how Chang does something like fundamental, really complicated, sophisticated code in a short amount of time. Yeah, great job as always.
Thank you, Asel. Yeah, well, you know, it's not a comment on myself, but you know, maybe next is that I might, if I have time, right? I might want to slap Bridge on a Node full stack, you know, and then use React for the front end to rewrite all the, you know, the Ruby on Rails or the Django template to React, and then renders the same app. Then I'll be able to say that, hey, you know, I'm confident that I can use 3 different technologies to implement the same thing, right? To implement the same website.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that concludes presentation night tonight then. Thank you all so much. Chung, you can hit stop share on it's the red button at the bottom there. There you go. Perfect. All right. So I think we're good. I'll stick around if anybody has any other questions or anything, but otherwise, thank you all so much. Job well done. Thank you for sharing your projects with us, and we look forward to seeing where you grow from here.
I do have a question.